powerful.
I like parts.
And did you see how she found a message of hope in the end?
Yes. Let's just hope the next one will be worse.
Louis.
What? I'm just saying what we're all thinking. Whatever, let's just get that elder boy up here.
All right, well, we have one more speech before the half, and then we'll have a 15-minute intermission.
Ooh, last one before break. No pressure. Landon. Choke. Choke.
Do you need some water?
Ew, I try to stay away from that stuff.
Landon Elder.
Do you believe in providence, or is everything just coincidental? For example, why are we all here tonight? Now, it couldn't be that I, Landon, Mr. Perfect Elder is speaking, because I kind of lied and told everyone I'd be stuck at home with homework tonight. Think about why you're here, honestly. No matter what silly reason you have in your head, I will bet that you are here tonight to simply listen to 10 lucky students speak their minds and relay something important to you. Now, that being said, is it not true that we all have a message to deliver? Not just us 10 tantalizingly terrific talents. During the fall trimester, not only the academy, but a community, family, and world lost a truly amazing man. This man was Mauro de Padua, and he had many messages. Trust me. One of these lessons is so simple, but so hard to maintain. It was a groggy Monday morn. The birds were cold and disgusted. The sun couldn't get up, nor was there any hope of making it through that day. We marched, chained and bound, walking towards our torture chamber, school. The guards taunted and tormented us as we limped down to the auditorium for chapel. Sitting there, I was contemplating my escape, and I tell you, my plan was near flawless. Then, out of nowhere, came the minister, the same man who had welcomed me to prison that same morning with his increasingly more obnoxious, "Good evening." Now, I know that's probably the worst impression you've ever heard, but for some reason, whenever we made fun of each other, that's just what happens, so bear with me. This man, of course, was D-Pod. As he rambled on and on, all of the inmates were doing the same as I, trying to escape into our own little worlds of dancing sugar plums, of drama, how we were going to pass our quiz second period, or whether the lunch at Bean Hall was going to be cheesesteaks or chicken patties. However, there were some words said by this man that resonated with me that morning. He told us that when we say the prayer, to actually think about it and think about what it means. Also, when someone holds a door for you, instead of thanking them because of the social contract, actually be sincere in doing so. What he was saying had made a little sense, I guess. Now, instead of visions of chicken patties, I was starting to think about his message. As we said the prayer, I thought about what it meant, and it actually made a lot of sense. For the rest of that week, I, inmate number 5682, did my best to actually walk the walk and not just talk the talk. These occurrences did not only happen in school, however. There was one night when I was in the depths of despair because Katy Perry and Russell Brand had broken up. I know. And my parents just didn't get it. They penetrated past my first line of defense and entered my room. They had been warned many times to never enter my room. This meant war. what could be so selfish to them, or what could be so important to them that they had to be so selfish. Hey, Lanny, Dad and I are going out. We'll be home in 2 hours. Love you. Okay, Mom! It was like an atom bomb had gone off. Now, every teenager is on my side. You know how parents are crazy. And every parent is on the parent side. Boy, I wish I could be like those teenagers. But why did I let myself snap like that? All my parents wanted was to tell me they loved me. After this instance, I really thought about what I had done. Anything could happen outside of my precious room. They could be killed in a car crash, or even worse, abducted by aliens. Excuse me. Not only would I now have no one to make me dinner, but my last memory with them would be my counterattack against their invading forces. There were other times with friends and family where I would constantly think about not ever seeing them again. I questioned myself. Wait, dude, you mean these things I've been saying and doing, for example, the national anthem, the prayer, I love you, for my whole life actually mean something? Also, say my life were cut short, how would I want to be remembered by my friends and family? Now I could understand what the man at chapel was saying. And it made sense, both at home and the academy. A week passed. It was Friday, and I was in a particularly good mood that morning. But something threw us all a little off schedule that morning. Instead of Mrs. Odner giving the Friday post-chapel announcements, it was Mauro de Padua. Nobody gives post-chapel announcements except Mrs. Odner. Something weird, but good was happening. As I watched as my advisor had a ball up on stage, cracking jokes right and left, dancing, interacting with students. Something about him being there just lifted all the spirits in the room. I realized that life was pretty darn good. The rest of that Friday was fantastic, one of the best of the year. Everything from great classes to a spectacular lunch to the Friday spirit was just what I needed. Then the bell rang. It was the weekend, and the world was ours. As my friends and I ran for freedom, we saw D-Pod return to his office. Good evening, we mocked. And he retaliated with an ever so clever, "Are you making fun of my accent?" and danced into his office. We didn't know that that was the last conversation any of us would have with him. As students and faculty here at the academy gathered to support each other, I came to think about how I took D-Pod for granted. I think a lot of people realize the same thing. It was then that I discovered the true meaning of the saying, "You never know what you have until you've lost it." During the next few days, I, along with many other students, realized something else. The last week D-Pod had lived, he looked like he was living the dream. Everything from fantastic chapels to the Friday announcements, and I heard how he practically danced his way into the next world on the final night of his life. This man not only knew how to live, but knew how to spread his messages by living them. It was obvious that he was surrounded by angels, and I was beginning to see that not only was he surrounded, but he was an angel himself. So let me ask you again, do you believe in providence? I believe that Mauro de Padua was trying to relay one final message on to us by living it. The Lord gave us a natural body so we can communicate and love others. Not so we could wake up at 6:55 every morning, brush our teeth, go to work or school, go to sports, come home, eat dinner, brush our teeth, go to bed at 11:30. No. What are we, robots? ANC has taught me another very important lesson which ties into this. And that is that people are amazing, and everyone is here for a reason, and that's providence. Every voice should be heard, and that voice should yell. As Seussical the musical would put it, a person's a person, no matter how small. And the last time I checked, I wasn't just inmate number 5682. My name is Landon Kirk Pendleton Elder, and I don't mean to toot my own horn here, but I actually matter. Same with every single one of you in this room tonight, and everyone in the universe. Yes, including the aliens who failed to abduct my parents. Live every day like it's your last, because you never know when that day could come. We were all given a voice. Why not use it to tell people close to you that you love them and to spread your message? The Lord uses providence to give us countless opportunities to do things. It's a matter of taking advantage of these opportunities instead of sitting around like a bum and letting them slip away. And when the fateful day comes, when it's time to move on into the next world, why not leave this one dancing and having the time of your life? Thank you.